So let's talk about the first 500 miles in the new Jeep Gladiator. I'm in a 2025 Jeep Gladiator Sport. This is the Nighthawk edition, which I guess is basically a blacked out trim edition for like emblems and stuff like that. Maybe the wheels, I think, maybe even 20-inch wheels, I don't know. Which, by the way, I'm not a fan of. I do notice over the first 500 miles that the ride in this Gladiator is a little more hard. It's harsher than what I'm used to or was used to in my other Jeep Gladiators. Now, in all fairness, I did have 18-inch wheels on those with a little bit bigger tire, nothing extreme. So I had more tread wall and it gave me a softer ride. And we will be switching these out, by the way. Not a big fan of the 20-inch wheels. I don't think they belong on a Jeep Gladiator or really any truck, but I suppose that's more personal preference, right? Get what you like. Now, as far as the truck itself, how is it doing? Well, I'm happy to say that it's been fine so far. Haven't been any issues, no check engine lights. I haven't even gotten the famous blackout screen. Every Mopar product I think I've ever had, the screen goes black at some point. It's like a reset or something. It's really kind of odd. Has not happened in this Jeep Gladiator yet. There's still time. We'll see. As far as the fit and finish of the truck, that kind of thing, I have gone over it more than once, looking for imperfections, being picky. And I have to say, I haven't found any. Nothing unusual or out of spec or anything that catches my eye, either inside or outside on this truck. Now, I will put a little caveat to that. I do hear a little bit of, it's not really rattling, it's more like screeching, squeaking, very, very minor. I mean, I'm talking small, but I do hear a little bit of that over on the right side. I don't know if it's the Freedom roof panels that are making a little noise on the corner over there, or maybe the dash area. I'm not sure. It's very faint. Again, I'm being very picky with this kind of stuff. Acceleration in this truck. You know, on every other Gladiator that I had, I put in a pedal commander because I just wanted to, I don't know, make the acceleration as good as it can be. And I think we're going to be needing that in this truck as well. It is the same engine after all. I mean, it's not turbocharged or anything. And I actually believe if they had a V6 turbo in this truck, it would be awesome. I think it would be way powerful, much more than what we have right now. But I think I need to put something in just to refine it a little bit. And no, I'm not going to tune the truck. A tune is way more than what I want. It does many more things than just getting rid of throttle lag or making the truck a little bit quicker. That's why I don't opt for the tune. Not to mention, I'm not real hip on having somebody in a parking lot with a laptop kind of messing with the brains of my truck. I guess I have trust issues. I don't know. And I like to be able to, I guess, dial in the settings myself, get it the way that I want it without having to go back to somebody else because I don't like the way that they did it, or it's maybe too sensitive or not sensitive enough for what I'm looking for. So we will be doing that. I'm sure down the road, we shall see. Simple plug and play thing. It's pretty easy. Now, I just noticed when I made that turn, I did get my first duck. My mother actually gave this to me. She's a big fan of the ducks, so she went out and bought some and of course gave it to me. I kind of ruined it though. She was gonna sit it on my door handle, I guess, and she had it and I saw her in the driveway, so it didn't work out that way. But anyway, I have my first duck. I guess I'm officially back into the Jeep fold now. Now, let's talk about fuel economy. Oh, before we get to that, there is another thing. And this I really like as compared to the Toyota Tacoma, which I also have. And I'm talking about the settings on the gauge cluster. You know, right now, as I go over to the controls, I'm on speed, right? I have that in the center of the gauge cluster, shows me how fast I'm going. With one push of the down arrow, I show my tire pressures, which I really like. And I could leave that on, but I like having the speed in the center, right? One more push, and I show fuel economy. Another thing that I like to see from time to time, and speaking of fuel economy, we got to talk about that for just a second. Now, fuel economy, I don't expect this to be some sort of hypermiler. I mean, it is a truck. It is a V6, naturally aspirated, no turbo, nothing like that. I'm getting 15.1 miles per gallon. Now, I have not done a reset since I got the truck, and you really should do that if you're trying to be accurate. I mean, let's be honest, when you're sitting at the dealer, typically they are showing you all the features and things, and if it's hot or cold, they're going to have the truck running, right? Well, same with mine. The truck was sitting there for an extended period of time running, and that's going to decrease your overall fuel economy. So it's always good to do a reset, which, as I said, I have not, just to make sure that you get an accurate reading, right? You don't want to judge the truck based on it sitting and idling in a parking lot, you know, for half an hour or whatever, and that being part of the overall numbers. So I do need to do that. But anyway, 15.1 miles per gallon, take it for what it is, not too accurate. As far as my decision to go back to the Gladiator, I am so happy with this truck. I love this truck. I think it's awesome. It's up there with my top two, I guess. I'd put it right up there with the Toyota Tacoma. As far as, I guess, the fun factor, it's fun to drive. It's cool looking because it's different. Of course, it's a Jeep. It has the removable top. That's something that I don't get out of the Tacoma. And it's not that I do it that often, to be honest. I think it's more a factor of knowing that I can. I still need to put the Sunrider soft top in up here just so I can unhook and flip back, as opposed to having to deal with these. It's kind of cumbersome. You know, you run the risk of being caught out in the rain somewhere if you leave them at home. You can throw them in the bed, but then you run the risk of damaging them. You know, the last Gladiator that I had, actually in one of the corners, it chipped. And I will tell you, underneath this stuff is just nothingness. I mean, it's like white or black or whatever. Very easy to see that chip. I don't want that to happen with these. And by the way, I did have those, or the one that chipped anyway, inside the case that Jeep provides. So it's not like I had just sat it somewhere and, you know, it was getting kicked on or whatever. It was actually under a bed. So I don't know why it happened. I don't know why the corner, maybe it got hit with a vacuum cleaner or something, even though it was inside the bag that Jeep provides. So they really don't give you that much protection, just a heads up there. Anyway, truck is doing great. Love it. It's awesome. No issues. Wouldn't hesitate to buy one again. And honestly, I'm very glad that I made the decision to do it this time. This one is going to be around, barring any kind of big problems, is going to be around on the channel for a long, long time. Leave a comment. Let me know if you recently got a Jeep Gladiator. Maybe you had one before, jump back in, or it's your first time. What do you think of it? How's it doing for you? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.